Welcome to Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Smackdown video for January 15th, 2019. Birthdays, we got Kelly for January 15th, she was born 1987. Shane McMahon, he had a birthday, he was born 1970. Bull Buchanan, he was born 1968. Nicole Matthews, born 1987. Tucker Knight, he was born 1990, all on January 15th. The late Eddie Graham, he was born January 15th. He took his own life at the age of 55 on January 21st, 1985. The late Jimmy Superfly Snuka died on January 15th, 2017. Dark main events advertised for SmackDown taping were Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles and The Miz versus The Miz for the WWE Championship. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. But didn't find the results posted on that. Probably changed. WWE is now billing Andrade, Cien Almas, as just Andrade. A change was made to his WWE roster page profile is now shown as a graphic to promote the SmackDown with Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. Heavy Machinery, Tucker Knight, and Otis Dojovic appeared in the opening backstage segment on tonight's SmackDown. They made a nasty shake in front of the New Day. And they gave some to Becky Lynch, who just happened to be walking by the arena for her in-ring segment. This comes after they interrupted Alexa Bliss's Moment of Bliss talk show segment with Paul Heyman on Monday's Raw. Lacey Evans also appeared in backstage segment on SmackDown at this link. Evans was shown watching Lynch versus Peyton Royce from the backstage with a drink in her hand. As also noted, as Evans appeared in a brief backstage segment with Mickie James and Dana Brooke on Monday's Raw, thus hyping their Raw or SmackDown, whatever they're going to give them. And another video link from the first championship photo shoot with Intercontinental Champion Bobby Lashley. That happened after Raw as he won the Intercontinental Championship. And he was joined in by Leo Rush. Lashley won the title, defeating Seth Rollins and former champion Dean Ambrose in a triple threat on last night's Raw. Roman Reigns looks to be in good spirits, as you can see at this link, and as he continues his second battle with leukemia. This was filmed from Hawaii, and he was back as he announced back in October. His second battle with leukemia. Reigns is apparently vacationing in Hawaii, the Hawaiian island of Kauai, this week, as Arkansas TV anchor Suzanne Brunner tweeted the photo of the big dog and her son at their hotel. Former WWE superstar Adam Rose, real name Raymond Lepin, took to Facebook on Tuesday and thanked WWE for helping him to get sober. Rose posted a photo from the height of his drug use when he weighed just 170 pounds. He's now been sober for 415 days, and he gained weight up to 223 pounds. Rose wrote, "I never have really spoken about this, but the picture on the left is me at the height of my drug usage at 170 pounds. Picture on the right is me, as I am now 415 days sober, 223 pounds. God has given me a second chance, and I don't plan to waste it. I want to thank WWE for their help. They went above and beyond for me when I know I didn't deserve it. Stay tuned as I plan to share with you all of my story and journey. Hashtag let go, let God." Rose if you didn't know, Rose was suspended by WWE back in April 2016 for his second violation of the WWE wellness policy. He later claimed he had been legally prescribed Adderall by a doctor to treat ADHD. Well, I have ADHD, but I'm not on Adderall or anything. At that point, WWE knew about the prescription for over a year. Rose was arrested weeks later after a domestic incident. He requested his release in May 2016, and WWE granted it. Rose announced in 2017 that the year would be his final year in wrestling, but he continued to wrestle in 2018 due to financial reasons according to a statement he made in an interview. And you can go to that link Facebook for the picture. Bludgeon Brothers have been cleared to return to WWE action. According to PW Insider, former SmackDown Tag Team Champions Rowan and Harper will be back on the road with the Blue Brand as soon as next Tuesday's SmackDown episode in Wichita, Kansas. Luke Harper, on his initial reaction to Vince McMahon pitching the Bludgeon Brothers mallets. Rowan was at the Performance Center in Orlando earlier this week, working towards getting cleared from the biceps tear he suffered back in August. Harper was seen sporting a cast on his left hand several months ago, but he's also ready to return. Bludgeon Brothers have been out of action since dropping the titles to the New Day after SummerSlam due to Rowan's injury suffered at SummerSlam. WWE has officially removed Finn Balor and Sasha Banks from the 30-man and 30-woman Royal Rumble match to take later this month. Balor will now challenge the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar, while Banks will challenge Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey at the pay-per-view. WWE has not confirmed Naomi for the Women's Rumble, despite her Twitter announcements from almost 2 weeks ago. For the men's match, WWE has removed Kalisto from the listing, as he will be in the WWE Cruiserweight title Fatal 4-Way with champion Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami. There are now 18 open spots left for the women's match, and 12 open for the men's. So, 2019 Royal Rumble pay-per-view takes place January 27th from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Open stadium. Here's an updated card. Hope it don't rain so they don't get rained out. The Universal title match is now Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar. WWE title match, AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Raw Women's title, Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey. SmackDown Women's title, Becky Lynch versus Asuka. SmackDown Tag Team title match, The Miz and Shane McMahon versus Cesaro and Sheamus. U.S. title match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev. Fatal 4-Way for the Cruiserweight title, Kalisto versus Akira Tozawa versus Hideo Itami versus Buddy Murphy. 30 women Royal Rumble match. Of course, at number 30, Carmella, Zelina Vega, Natalya, Bayley, Ember Moon, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox, Mickie James, and the rest to be announced. 30-man Royal Rumble match with 2 weeks remaining. R-Truth at number 30, Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali, John Cena, Andrade, Apollo Crews, Elias, Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, Intercontinental Champion Bobby Lashley. Still in it. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, Big E, Xavier Woods, Jeff Hardy to be announced are the remaining. NXT superstar Humberto Carrillo made a 205 Live debut on Tuesday's show after SmackDown. He entered the non-title open challenge from WWE Cruiserweight champion Buddy Murphy, but lost the match. And here's a video of 205 Live General Manager Jake Maverick making that announcement on Carrillo's status and below is his post-match video of Carrillo talking to Sarah Schreiber, reacting to the news. Again, go to that link. Drake announced that Carrillo has officially joined the roster. Drake also confirmed that Carrillo for the When Worlds Collide tournament that takes place during Royal Rumble Access later this month. Carrillo says that he wants to prove that he is the best, and he wants to represent his Mexican people by having a Mexican star at the top. And that can be found at this link. Fandango was at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando on Tuesday, working towards his ring return. According to PW Insider, Fandango underwent surgery to repair a torn labrum back in July, and it was believed that he would be back in action around January. Well, guess what? It's January. Sami Zayn and Sin Cara have also been at the Performance Center in the last week. Also working to get cleared for their in-ring returns, Sami has been out of action since June and underwent surgery on both shoulders. WWE recently started airing Returning Soon vignettes for his return. Sin Cara has been out of action since August with a knee injury. Speaking of Zayn, he was among the superstars who took to Twitter during last night's Smackdown and praised Rey Mysterio and Andrade for their match. For those who missed it, Andrade won the rematch in a match that went on through several commercial breaks. Zayn wrote, "Man, I loved Andrade versus Mysterio. The pacing, story, athleticism, execution, everything was on point. They created genuine excitement. I hope to tear it up with both of these guys soon. At some point, much respect at Rey Mysterio, at Andrade Cien WWE. Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali. Can be found at this link, but the match never happened, as Samoa Joe just destroyed Ali at ringside before the bell rang. Joe later cut a promo and said that the attack was a statement and that he will attack any man who announces their spot for the Royal Rumble match. Next Tuesday, 205 Live episode will feature triple threat match with Hideo Itami, Akira Tozawa, and Kalisto. The match will take place just days before the three superstars challenge WWE Cruiserweight Champion Buddy Murphy in a fatal four-way at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. EC3 also appeared in a backstage segment on Smackdown. He was shown posing in front of a mirror as Joe walked to the ring, Samoa Joe, for the angle with Ali. Nikki Cross also appeared in the backstage segment tonight on Tuesday night, acting crazy behind a fence as Rey Mysterio walked to the ring for his loss to Andrade. Also noted, Lacey Evans and Heavy Machinery also appeared in backstage segments on SmackDown. Tucker noticed in the backstage segment with Becky Lynch and the New Day, of course, drinking their shake, while Evans was shown watching Becky's win over Peyton Royce with the backstage segment with a drink in her hand. Well, the drink was nothing but pancake mix, 2 eggs, some live pancakes that was mixed in with it, and some other liquid. I couldn't see what they had in it. I think it was just water. And they just put it in a blender and mixed it up and poured it into a cup. There you go. The call-ups from WWE NXT are appearing on both Raw and SmackDown until they sign with one of the brands. The one that they mainly have been advertised as Lars Sullivan was not seen on either show. As last night's Raw, on Monday night's Raw, saw brief appearances by EC3, Heavy Machinery, and Evans, while Cross teamed with Bayley and Natalya for a win over the Riot Squad. No word yet on Lars Sullivan's debut, but WWE teased him for a possible SmackDown appearance, but that never happened. And I'll give you all 3 links right here of EC3, Nikki Cross, and Tucker Knight, for those who missed it. The dark matches before SmackDown from Legacy Arena in Birmingham, Alabama saw EC3 defeat Aiden English and Heavy Machinery, Tucker Knight and Otis Dojovic, defeating the Clones, Primo and Epico, not under their mask anymore. SmackDown opened up with an SUV pulling up in the back. Becky Lynch steps out, and fans start chanting her name. Kayla Braxton approaches and asks if Becky is truly ready for SmackDown Women's Champion Asuka. Becky asks if Kayla is really waited to ask her that. And Kayla already knows the answer, but Becky will go answer it in the ring. She walks off and tosses her keys to Kayla. We see Heavy Machinery, Tucker Knight, and Otis Dojovic mixing a nasty concoction in a blender with a New Day. I didn't see any cords through it, so I guess it was battery operated. And they put tuna in it, according to an article, eggs and other ingredients. I told you pancake mix. And already made pancakes. Kofi Kingston and Big E and Xavier Woods were there, wanting none of the shake. Becky approaches and Otis gives her the picture, like he's really scared of her, but giving her respect. Becky takes a sip and says, "A little weak." She hands it back to him and keeps on walking, leaving everyone looking impressed. We go to the ring out as Tom Phillips welcomes us to the show. To the Legacy Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, joined in by Corey Graves and Byron Saxon. The music hits and Becky Lynch makes her way to the ring to a pop. Announcers go over tonight's show. Becky talks about getting the opportunity to take back her title from Smackdown Women's Champion Asuka at the Royal Rumble. She goes on and says everyone in the locker room is trying to be a badass now because of how she broke through. Becky says Asuka is finding out just how hard it is to lead the division. Becky then says people have tried to say she's just hype, but she always delivers on what she says. She says Asuka is really hype, pointing to how she lost at WrestleMania 34 after going in undefeated. Becky asks Asuka. Becky says Asuka fell off after that loss and wasn't even able to defeat Charlotte Flair, who she beat around the world for months. The music interrupts. Out comes Asuka. Asuka hits the corner, opposes, and Becky looks on. Asuka then cuts a promo and gets a what treatment from the crowd. It's hard to make out what she's saying in Japanese. As Asuka says, Becky is all talk, but she's like a bee without a sting. Asuka says after the Rumble, Becky won't be in Charlotte Flair's shadow. She will be in Asuka's. Music interrupts again, and out comes the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Billie says that's not how a proper champion should behave, making scary faces and threats. Peyton says if we think Asuka is bad, what about the bully Becky? They go on knocking Becky and says that's typical behavior from a man. Iconics say none of this matters or who wins the title match at Royal Rumble because they are going to win the 30-woman Royal Rumble match and they will win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Then go on to make WrestleMania 35 absolutely iconic. They do their pose, but the fans boo. Becky just turns and gets in Asuka's face, saying if Asuka wants to know what the buzz is about, she's about to show why she's the talk of the industry. Becky turns back to the Iconics and issues a challenge to one of them. Fan chant for Becky. Iconics talk it over as we go to commercial. And we get the challenger, Peyton Royce. Back from the break, we've got a match. The bell rings and Becky Lynch offers a handshake, but nails Peyton Royce in the throat instead, sending her out to regroup with Billie Kay. Asuka watches from ringside. In a desk, one of them rolling back chairs that rolls around, office chairs. Peyton comes back in and takes control. Peyton avoids an early disarmer attempt. She keeps control as the fan chants her name. Becky keeps control and backsides her for a 2 count. Peyton tries to fight back, but Becky takes her down and works on the arm while taunting Asuka. We see Lacey Evans backstage watching the match with a drink in her hand. Mojito, or whatever you would call it. You got the island kind of look. Becky continues to working on the arm. She kicks Peyton down and back out of the ring to regroup again. Becky kicks Royce through the ropes and brings her back in. Peyton kicks Becky on her way in and unloads on her with strikes now. Royce mounts Becky with more strikes and a 2 count. Becky fights out of the corner as the fan chant for her. Peyton with a clothesline in the corner to cut Becky off. Peyton with more offense as Kay talks trash. Peyton uses ropes on Becky as the referee warns her. Peyton with another takedown as she keeps Becky grounded in the middle of the ring. Fans rally for Becky as she fights to her feet. Becky fights out, but Peyton slams her back to the mat by her hair. Peyton runs her into a boot in the corner. Becky with a flying forearm from the top for a 2 count. Peyton goes to the floor for a breather as Kay checks on her. Becky comes from behind and pushes Billie out of the way. But Peyton takes advantage and clotheslines her on the floor. Right in front of Asuka, we go back to commercial. Back for the break, Becky asks Asuka to watch this. As she fights back, Becky with a big overhead throw. Becky misses in the corner, but Royce runs into an elbow. Becky drops Royce and goes to the top, but Royce drops her with a long kick to the head. Peyton with a 2 count. We get another backstage look at Evans with her drink. More back and forth between the two until Becky gets the win with a disarmer. After the match, Asuka hits the ring and yells at Becky in Japanese. Asuka wants a match with Billie Kay. And the match is up next. We got a non-title match now. Oscar hits a hip attack and a knee for a 2 count. And then Oscar applied to disarmer. But Mickey turns it into a 2 count. Oscar goes on and wins with the Oscar lock. Just reverses it into an Oscar lock tap out. After the match, Oscar and Becky face off in the ring until the music hits and out comes AJ Styles. AJ makes his way out up the stairs through the crowd. Back to commercial. Back from the break, AJ Styles is near the concessions area with a bunch of fans. He's got hot dogs, soda, and popcorn. He says WWE Champion Daniel Bryan claimed fans were unhealthy and unhappy, but they look happy to him. He goes on about the fans paying their hard-earned money to be here. And says he will kick Bryan's butt at the Royal Rumble. A hooded Bryan suddenly attacks AJ after he gives out some merchandise. They brawl and AJ puts Bryan through a table backstage. The Usos are backstage doing a photo shoot with Jimmy Uso delivered a gift. Perhaps an early anniversary present. Jey Uso reads the note to him, and it's from a naughty girl who needs to be locked up in the Uso penitentiary. It's signed by Mandy Rose, not Naomi. The hotel key card is included. Jey asks Jimmy what he's going to do now. And in a few minutes, they show him at the hotel already. But we see Samoa Joe backstage walking. We also see EC3 posing in the mirror to the side. Samoa Joe just looks back at him and nothing happens to that. And he keeps walking as we go to commercial. Like he's seen an old friend. They were both in Impact Wrestling together. Back to the break, we see shots from the recent WWE headquarters visit by R-Truth and Carmella. Kayla's backstage with Zelina Vega and Andrade, who is now being called just Andrade. Kayla mentions his match with Rey Mysterio being the main event. Almas says Rey used to be the idol, but he showed Rey last week that times changed and he's the future. Vega goes on about how it's 2019 and Almas is the future. She says he will defeat Rey tonight, then win the Royal Rumble, and then the WWE title at WrestleMania, and not just hype Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. And we get momentarily Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali. We're going to ring out first Samoa Joe as Greg Hamilton does the ring introductions. Mustafa Ali was out next, but Joe attacked Ali from behind during his entrance. Before the bell could even ring, Joe destroyed Ali at ringside and leaves him laying. Officials out to check to get Joe off of Ali. Joe walks away but comes right back and beats on Ali some more, taking him out on the floor again. Joe sends Ali into the ring post for a second time. Outside the ring, we get a replay, and Joe comes back over to Ali for more punishment and trash talking. Joe looks to powerbomb Ali through an announce table, but he launches him into the barrier instead in the segment. As Samoa Joe just walks off, hits it back. Sonya Deville's backstage with Mandy Rose. Deville asks Rose if she really wants to go through with this hotel thing, saying it's scandalous. Rose really doesn't like Naomi and says if she can make Naomi's life any more miserable, then why not? Rose says she can do that by breaking up their marriage and it will be worth it. Rose walks off and says she has a date as Deville shakes her head. Still to come segment, Miz celebrates Shane McMahon's birthday. We see Rey Mysterio walking backstage, getting ready for his match. He stops and sees a crazy-looking Nikki Cross behind the fence, shaking it and saying she will play with Rey. Rey shakes his head and keeps walking. Back to commercial. Back to the break, we see what just happened with Joe and Ali. Kayla backs with Joe now. Joe says he just made a statement and a declaration. He goes on about how he will win the Royal Rumble match, and he will put any man to sleep if they announce their spot for the match. So we get next up, Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. We go to the ring out first with Rey Mysterio. Andrade was out next with Zelina. The bell rings and they get a feel for each other. They try to show each other up again. Like last week, fans pop. They go at it again, trade counters, and one counts on the mat. Rey takes control and keeps Andrade grounded. Vega yells at and Andrade tries to bite out, but Rey keeps control. Andrade finally gets the upper hand and keeps Rey locked in, working on the arm. Rey almost fights out, but Andrade keeps Rey tied up. Ray fights out, but Andrade sends him face first into the turnbuckles. Fan chant 619 as Andrade keeps focus on the arm. Taking Mysterio back down. Ray bounces off the ropes and takes Andrade down. Ray keeps going and sends Andrade out of the ring. Comes right back in, but Ray drops him into position for the 619. Ray goes for it, but Andrade ducks it. Ray blocks the hammerlock DDT. So they trade pin attempts. They face off again, regroup in their corners. Ray ends up dropping Andrade, kicking him in the face. Ray tumbles in over the top and sends Andrade to the floor. But Andrade hangs on and turns that into a sit-down powerbomb on the floor for a pop. Vega cheers on Andrade as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Andrade misses the double knees in the corner. As Ray moved out of the way, Ray with a seated senton and a hurricane rana. Andrade catches Ray in the midair, but Ray drops him with a big DDT for a 2 count. Vega yells from ringside as Andrade nails a big elbow. Andrade blocks a kick. Ray ends up landing in the turnbuckles. Andrade follows up with a double knees into the corner for a 2 count. More back and forth. Ray sends Andrade into the middle turnbuckle. Ray then goes up top, but Andrade pulls his leg out. Andrade goes up top for the big stomp, but Ray escaped. Ray leaps off the apron while Andrade is on the apron, catching him and sending him flying into the barrier from the apron with a hurricane rana. Fans pop as Vega looks on shocked. Fan chant, "This is awesome," as we get a replay of the spot. Ray goes back to the top for the big senton from the top to Andrade on the floor. We go back to commercial with both superstars down. More back and forth after that melee. Andrade nails a big elbow and covers for 2 pin attempts. Andrade with another big counter. Andrade goes up top. Vega cheers him on. Andrade hits a big moonsault but lands on his feet. Follows right up with a standing moonsault for another close 2 count. Vega can't believe it. Fan chant, "This is awesome" again. Ray with more counters and then nails a Canadian Destroyer for a 2 count. We get a replay of the move. Ray goes for the 619, but Andrade catches it and stands up with Ray on his shoulders. Ray drops Andrade with a crucifix bomb for a 2 count. Ray goes on and hits the 619 for another counter. Ray goes up top. As Vega distracts the referee from the apron, Andrade leaps at the distracted Ray and crotches him on the top. Andrade with a draping hammerlock DDT from the top rope for the pin to win. After the match, Vega rushes the ring to celebrate with Andrade. We go to replays. Andrade and Vega continue celebrating. We get a replay from the earlier segment with the Usos. We also see the segment with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. We go to Jimmy's hotel. We see him walking down the hallway. Jimmy pulls Mandy's hotel room key card out and hesitates. We go to commercial. Back from the break, and Jimmy Uso enters Mandy's room. Rose is sitting down in a chair, only supposedly wearing a towel. Rose tells Jimmy to come on in because it's time to quit stalling. Rose takes off her robe and reveals lingerie. Rose asks what Jimmy's wife will think. Uso says he can't do this, but she says they can. A man jumps out and takes photos of Uso standing with Rose. Jumps out from underneath the bed. He runs off, and Uso asks, what's up with that? Rose puts her robe back on and asks if he really thought she wanted him. She says this isn't about Jimmy. It's about her wife, and Rose despises his wife. Rose says Naomi runs around like she runs the place, but she will never be Rose. Never be as hot as her. Rose says she knows it. Naomi knows it, and Jimmy knows it. Rose says it will destroy Naomi's entire life when she gets a look at these the photos. Jimmy says, my wife? Well, he walks out of the room and enters Naomi, walking in and beats Rose up. They start brawling around the hotel room, going back and forth. Rose knocks Naomi down and goes to leave, but Naomi comes right back after her, and the brawl continues. Rose sends Naomi flying over a chair and runs out of the room. Jimmy comes in and helps Naomi up. She says she didn't get Rose as good as she wanted to. In the segment, we get a look back at WWE Women's Tag Team titles revealed from Raw. The announcers talk about the titles and the new champions being crowned at Elimination Chamber. Well, these women's title belts look like the Intercontinental Championship belt for the men's. White belts. And the new champions will be crowned at Elimination Chamber pay-per-view right before WrestleMania. And now to go over the Royal Rumble card, we go to the ring. Out comes The Miz for his bestie birthday bash for Shane McMahon, who turns 49 today. On Tuesday, we see birthday decorations set up around the ring. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Miz welcomes us to the bestie birthday bash, and then introduces his bestie tag team partner, Shane McMahon. Music hits, and out comes Shane. The ring is decorated for a party. Miz wishes Shane a happy birthday on behalf of everyone. Fan chant happy birthday to Shane now. Shane thanks everyone, says he's usually a little shy about birthday parties. Miz says this is no ordinary party. We have an arena full of his fans. Miz shows off the 2 specialty cakes they have on the table. There's a photo of the 2 of them on one cake. Miz also has the World Cup trophy on display. Miz gives Shane a present next. Shane opens the gift, and it's a pair of Jordan 33s. Miz tells Shane to look at the big screen for his next gift, and it's a video package on Shane's career and his time with The Miz. Shane says he's actually speechless. He says the video is very nice. Shane thanks Miz and thanks him for opening up a few weeks ago about his dad. Shane says that made him want to open up about something too. Shane says he's always dreamed of being WWE Tag Team Champion, and he's been very proud to be walking into the Royal Rumble with Miz as his partner. Miz thanks him. Miz says Shane's dream is going to come true at the Royal Rumble as they capture the Smackdown Tag Team titles from the bar. Miz thinks it's now time for everyone to help him sing happy birthday. Shane, Miz counts down, and the arena starts singing with Miz to Shane. Music interrupts. Out comes Cesaro and Sheamus. The bar points out how they weren't invited to the party. They say Vince McMahon wasn't invited, but he didn't come because he doesn't give a darn. They go on about winning the match at the Royal Rumble. Shane knocks Sheamus for the sneak bro kick to Miz from last week. Shane says, let's find out how tough Sheamus is tonight. Shane brings up Cesaro versus Miz for tonight, but Miz says he's in a suit, not dressed to compete. Shane says he wasn't dressed to compete when he won the World Cup. Shane talks Miz up, and Miz gets hyped up, saying if this is what Shane wants for his birthday, he's got it. It looks like we're going to get Miz versus Sheamus. According to Miz and Tom, we go to commercial, and that match is up next. Back to the break, Miz goes at it with Sheamus. Miz is wearing regular clothes, which is a shirt and suit, dress pants, very similar to Constable Corbin. But it's Miz's black shirt, Corbin's white shirt. There's a table outside with a trophy and cake on it. They almost go through it early on. Sheamus turns around on the outside and brings it back in. Sheamus keeps control and hits a forearm to the chest. Shane and Cesaro look on from ringside. Miz ends up on the outside, making it back right before the 10 count. Miz blocks White noise, but Sheamus drops him with a knee and keeps control. Sheamus keeps Shane grounded, bending him over the knee. Shane tries to rally the fans for the Miz. Sheamus blocks the score, crushing finale, but Miz finally mounts some offense. Sheamus misses in the corner and runs into the ring post. Miz with a corner drop kick, and then another. Miz charges again, but Sheamus runs him over. Cesaro ends up dropping Miz from the apron, and Sheamus distracts the referee. Shane comes up to the apron and gets Cesaro, putting him through the table, and cake on the outside. This leads to Miz rolling Sheamus up for the win. Winner of the match, Miz. After the match, Sheamus attacks the Miz, but Shane runs in and makes a save. Shane drops Sheamus with a back elbow off the ropes. Miz nails the crushing finale to Sheamus. They position Sheamus in the corner as the fans pop for the coast to coast. Shane goes to the top and nails the big move to Sheamus and a piece of cake in the corner. Graves calls it a coast to cake. They rub the cake in Sheamus' face and start celebrating. As Shane's music hits, Cien brings the World Cup trophy in, and they raise it together. Miz puts some cake in Cien's face, and they have a laugh together. You know how they both do the wedding cake thing with the husband and wife put the cake in each other's face. Cien and Miz hug, and the celebration continues, and Smackdown goes off the air. 205 Live. The show starts with General Manager Drake Maverick announcing another match for tonight. Lio Rush felt hard done by his loss to Calypso 2 weeks ago, thanks to some questionable distraction by the Lucha House Party. Rush will take on the Sable Celestado for the first time ever. Maverick goes on to discuss Murphy's open challenge for the main event. With Nigel McGuinness working in the new UK Performance Center in London this week, Vic Joseph and Percy Watson are ringside to call the action. Lio Rush versus Celestado. Before the Lucha House Party music plays, Rush takes a microphone in the ring and addresses the fans. He welcomes them to the Leo 5 Alive. Very nice, he states. He didn't come to WWE to make friends, but to win. He backs this up by mentioning his partnership with the newly crowned Intercontinental Champion Bobby Lashley. Celestado and friends and Penelope the Pinata come down to the aisle. All three members of the team come running down. Rush demands the music to stop. Rush bemoans Lucha House Party's strength in numbers, saying Dorado knows he can't beat him one-on-one. Dorado exits by motioning for Calypso and Grand Metalik backstage. Where Dorado's back turned, Rush sneaks attacks by him not long before the referee signals for the match to start. Rush comes in hard out of the gate. But if anyone can match Rush's speed, it's Celestado. Rush is forced to run the ropes, but subsequently dodges Dorado, who is ready to pounce twice over. Rush slaps a prone Dorado, angering the Golden Phoenix. He takes charge with some offense that grants him time to climb the turnbuckle. Rush counters by throwing himself against the ropes. Dorado with an ugly spill to the outside. Rush maintains pressure while with a springboard moonsault onto Dorado. Then an angry smash of his face on the commentary table lid. The Man of the Hour throws Dorado back in the ring for some pin attempts, but not enough damage that has yet been done for these to have any end result. Rush changes strategy in the form of a chin lock, stomps in the corner of the ring, then a suplex. Rush is using various wrestling styles in an attempt to wear down Dorado. As been evidenced in Rush's matches to date, there's no set genre of wrestling that he sticks to. Aggression, first and foremost, is what he has been synonymous with 205 Live. Rush shows his speed yet again to put a stop to Dorado's agile comeback, turning him upside down with a modified crucifix bomb as an answer to Dorado's springboard elbow. So far, with no outside distraction, Rush is focused and fearsome. Dorado gets back on the offensive, however, sidesteps an incoming Rush and squares things up with a crossbody from the top rope. Rush crawls outside for some respite, but Dorado follows shortly after with a suicide headbutt. He takes Rush back in the ring and 3 consecutive top rope moonsault. Surely this would be enough to finish anyone off, but Rush kicks out at 2. Displaying a resolve that matches the must-win attitude from his earlier promo. The pace of the match, the pace of the counters that follows between the two men speed up to the point that one mistake could prove costly. Seems to be the case for Rush as he falls victim finally to a springboard stunner. Dorado climbs up to the top, leg drops the escaping Rush, head onto the middle rope. Dorado with a full head of steam now charges at Rush in the corner, but Rush dodges at the last second. Dorado is sent shoulder first into the corner post. Rush smells blood down. He sets up an injured Dorado and climbs the ropes himself. One final hour frog splash later, and Lio Rush picks up the convincing win. Not happy only with his victory, the smell of the blood still strong. Rush chases the retreating Dorado up the aisle and attacks him again. Calypso and Metalik are quickly by their stable side for the save. As Rush makes his exit to the fans, Rush's menace is proving difficult for 205 Live roster. it's a shame he won't be competing against Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. Regardless, he is being a thorn in many Cruiserweight sides and is good television, in my opinion. But it's for the network. Cater backstage with Noel Dar, asking the Scottish Supernova how he overcame Tony Nese last week. Before Dar can celebrate, Nese walks up and confronts Dar, saying he dominated the match. Dar retorts with a simple, "But you lost." Nese eventually admits this, mentioning he and Dar are tied at one apiece for victories. Nothing is hit in this altercation, but it looks like a rubber match between the two is in the works, probably next week. Drake Maverick is talking to a referee before being approached by TJP. Maverick assumes TJP is here to accept Murphy's open challenge, but says a new superstar has that spot. Maverick praises TJP for respectfully approaching him in the hope of a match on 205 Live. The thing is, TJP never mentioned anything about wanting a match. He laughs at Maverick and walks off. Murphy is seen backstage, ready to come out for his non-title open challenge. Kaleso Akira Tozawa, Hideo Itami have pre-recorded videos set up. All men addressing their threat in the Royal Rumble Fatal 4-Way match against Buddy Murphy in just under 2 weeks' time. I warm up to the match. These three will wrestle each other in a triple threat encounter on next week's 205 Live. Buddy Murphy comes out to the arena. He tells the crowd to shut their mouths. He has something to say. How charming. In 2 weeks, he defends his title against three of the best cruiserweights on 205 Live. What treatment starts up for the crowd? Whether brave, indifferent, or just plain stupid, Murphy tells the fans not to wet him again, as he has something to say. Naturally said, the chant becomes louder and more frequent. He addresses tonight's open challenge, asking who wants to try and stop the unstoppable. The person is NXT's Humberto Carrillo, one half of the tag team with Raul Mendoza. Having seen him in limited action on NXT, Carrillo is an exciting prospect. He doesn't have huge star power in WWE at this stage, however. With that in mind, it's up to Carrillo tonight to start making him a name for himself. Buddy Murphy versus this newcomer. Murphy sizes up his opponent with a wry smile as he and Carrillo circle each other in the ring. Murphy wins for his point of the match with a simple takedown. Proclaiming loudly after that he's the greatest cruiserweight of all time, he is indeed a cocky individual, but things have went his way so often on 205 Live, it's hard to argue that with confidence. Early portion of the match sees test of strength between the two, a filling out process for Murphy as he decides on the best course of action. Quickly becomes apparent, though, that Carrillo can match Murphy's speed, at least. Murphy mockingly applauds Carrillo. 205 Live's new addition answers with some deep arm drags. The action spills out to the floor as Murphy fights off Carrillo's advances. He throws Carrillo backwards, sending him onto the ramp. Carrillo now has Murphy's attention. The arrogance is pushed to the side and replaced with brute force and aggression. Carrillo manages to fight through the pain and felled Murphy with a hurricanrana. He fails to capitalize. However, as Murphy only becomes more angry, ragdolling Carrillo around the outside, Murphy lands a stiff forearm onto Carrillo's jaw. The dull thud that follows sound like bad news ahead for Carrillo. Murphy seemingly looks to superplex Carrillo onto the floor, but after a struggle, settles for a leg sweep instead. He advances up on Carrillo on the apron, but the Latino superstar counters with a backdrop. He drags Murphy back into the ring and begins to mount his own series of offense. The champion is rocked. He kicks out of the pin attempt after some Carrillo's smooth but impactful high-flying offense. Carrillo looks to climb the turnbuckle again, but Murphy grabs his feet, proceeding to superkick him in the face. This doesn't stop Carrillo's confidence. He continues to take to the skies with grace, keeping Murphy in his place. He tries for a superplex of his own, but Murphy dumps him face first onto the mat, swinging momentum his way. Sunset flip, Scarillo, and lifts him up for a high-impact powerbomb for a 2 count. Both men exhausted, they are locked in a battle of who can land their suplex. During the exchange, Murphy lands awkwardly on his knee. Murphy limps around the ring, but he gets back to the corner looking concerned. Murphy decides to continue, and Carrillo applauds his efforts. As suspected, though, Murphy has been playing some possum. He lands a kick low into Carrillo's abdomen. He sets up for the Murphy's Law, but Carrillo rolls Murphy up in a process for a near fall. Carrillo is incensed with Murphy's dishonesty. He launches Murphy to the outside, both men crashing into the commentary table. Back in the ring, he vaults off the turnbuckle. Unfortunately, he leap lands him right into the devastating high knee from Murphy. The juggernaut of 205 Live locks into Murphy's Law and successfully executes it this time for the 1-2-3. Winner of the match, Buddy Murphy. As far as I can recall, Murphy hasn't employed cheap tactics in order to better his chances in a match till now. This could be a sign that his opinion of himself as an unstoppable wrestler is only surface deep. If I were any of his opponents in the upcoming match at Royal Rumble, I would be looking to use this to my advantage. A decent debut for Carrillo. Personally, I have enjoyed his tag team work with Mendoza more so, but it is early days in his 205 Live career. Here's hoping for stronger outings in the future. Dark main events after last night's 205 Live taping at the Legacy Arena in Birmingham, Alabama saw champion Daniel Bryan retain over AJ Styles. By DQ, Bryan reportedly cut a strong heel promo, which poked fun at Alabama for losing to Clemson in the college football playoff national championship earlier this month. As I was predicting the upset myself, it's Clemson beating Alabama, and they beat them with a point. AJ came back and laid Bryan out, also stopping to celebrate with a young fan in the crowd, and then impersonated WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin, switching out the beer cans for water bottles after hitting a phenomenal forearm on Bryan. And you can see that action in this link. Of course, it's on Instagram. Next Tuesday's 205 Live episode will feature a triple threat with Hideo Itami, Akira Tozawa, and Kalisto. The match will take place just days before the three superstars challenge the Cruiserweight Champion Buddy Murphy in a Fatal 4-Way at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And that concludes my results for 205 Live and Smackdown this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you one of you. If you don't know, just call me, brother or sister.